Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to our sets of webinar about Wialon new features and updates for this past quarter, Q3. My name is Ekaterina Kim. I'm the Senior Partner Manager here in Boston team. And without further ado, please let us start with updates for this quarter. Oops. The updates for Wialon hosting will contain the following features. We now have the setting time period for data display in the dashboard blocks. Also on the dashboard, we improved the mileage and consumed by fuel level sensor blocks. We also introduced new layers for Gurtam maps and vector layers. And we also added the feedback that you can leave directly on the dashboard and vector maps. And the next set of updates will be related to CMS and the new filtration criteria on the Access tab. Bear with me, I have some technical difficulties of switching my slides. So the first update is related to the dashboard. We added the opportunity to set the time period for data display in mileage, consumed by fuel level sensor, and speeding blocks on the dashboard. As you remember, these blocks showed only the information for the last 7 days without an ability to set a random interval. Now, to see the data for the period of time you want, in the interval field, right here, you need to manually enter the interval start and end dates or select it using the calendar. In order to see the date for any particular day, please specify it as the start and the end of the interval. You can also choose one of the available default intervals, as you see now, today, yesterday, week, and months. Also, as the reminder, the connection state, motion state, geofences with units, and latest notifications, those tabs showing the real-time data, so those time intervals are not applicable for them. And here you can also see the live icon indicating the real-time data. Every time you sign in, the default interval of 7 days will be applied. So now let's have the practical part where I show you in a real Wialon. So this is our Wialon account, and we are going to the dashboard. It's right here. And you see all those intervals, today, yesterday, week, months, and you can indicate the proper date, either choosing by calendar, want, show, and everything is changed here in mileage. Also, as the new improvement, we have more informative widgets for mileage and the fuel consumed by fuel level sensor. So information is now presented in the linear charts, as you see. Before it was bar charts. And we also added more units, so you can have up to 10 units displayed on the tab for both tabs. Before it was only 5. So let me come back to the Wialon. And as you see, the linear charts are moving now, and you can also hover over and see any particular unit and the data, or like this, or overall. Same for fuel. Also, the date can be changed, and the tabs will be automatically adjusted based on the interval you choose. So our next update will be related to the new layers the new maps that we added, the new map styles, rather to say. So it's Gurtam map new style and the Gurtam maps vector. So apart from different appearance, the new vector styles are more technologically advanced, and they also load faster. That, you know, it will allow us in the future to add new useful features and updates. Also related to, let me move to the next slide. We have added the ability to leave the feedback on the dashboard and the vector maps functionality. So what's the reason for this? Sometimes clients would like to suggest some improvements, and to allow them to share their opinion directly and without leaving the platform, we have launched a tool to collect their feedback. So on the vector maps and the dashboard pages, they will see an icon like this, and also on the dashboard, icon like this, where when they click, they will enable this pop-up menu where they can leave their feedback and opinion, again, without leaving the interface. So let me show you again how it looks like in Wialon. So we are in dashboard again, and here we have this button. You click and leave the feedback. When you come back to the list and see the maps, you see this button, and when you click, here's the feedback. Please keep in mind, if your map somehow is not on Google Maps new style or vector, this window disappears. So it's only relevant for this new style and vector map feedback. So moving on, next update will be related to CMS. In CMS, we added new access tab, new features, in order to simplify the process of granting access rights and cut the time needed to perform it. So we added this new filtration criteria on the access tab based on unit properties, groups of units, users, accounts, resources, and groups. So as you remember before, to grant access to several units from another resource for another account, or to search for a user in the unit settings, you had to choose each unit from the list and give access to it, or you have to search for a user in the unit settings. On top of that, you could only search for an item by its name. So we realized the process wasn't convenient, and it took a lot of time, especially if you had to perform a long list of access changes. So now the items can be filtered by the creator, the account name, the group name, resource, unit ID, and so on. So to give you an example, what you see on a desktop right now, we want to see how many units belong to the certain account. In this case, I filtered the account, my webinar, and indeed 5 units belong to this account. I'm a different user, and I want to grant access. I'm a show demo user. I want to grant access to all 5 units. And if you remember before, you have to search by unit name, one by one, memorize, or have it in a separate tab. Right now, when you have units here and you start typing my webinar, again, this is the name of the account, all 5 units that belong to my webinar pops up here, and you can grant the access, full access, read-only, or any kind of presets you have, and that's going to be one click, and that's it. So let me show you how it works in Wialon. So now we have our account. Again, for the sake of the performance, let's search for the name. We have to go to units. We can find account, my webinar. So see, we have 5 units. And we just go to any random user on the list like this. And I want this user to have access to those 5 units from my webinar account. you start typing my webinar, and the system automatically indicates that those units belong to my webinar, and you can select them and grant any access you want, click OK, and that's going to be it. So moving next, the next update is related to the new activated units tab. So we added a separate column to display the number of activated units in the CMS on the account tab. So previously, in order to find this information, users had to apply the appropriate filter, activated or deactivated, in the units tab. And right now, when you perform activation, remember it's right here, the new tab pops up in account settings, and you can see immediately how many units this account has and how many active units actually is being used. So it will help you to calculate the cost of the end of the months and simplify the analysis of the number of active and deactivated units and reporting on them. So let me show you again. Again, coming back to the accounts, here, if you never had this tab, you go here, you have activated units, and now you have this activated units tab. So let's filter some units. So yeah, here's our account. 29 units belong to this account, but actually 9 are active because I deactivated 20 of those. Again, before you had to go to units, filter activated, deactivated. So we really hope this feature will be useful for you. So the next update, and that's it for Wialon hosting. The next update is related to Wialon mobile. And for Wialon mobile, we have a couple of updates. Now you can specify interval time for locator, as well as customize your interface by reordering or hiding navigation bar. So locator. As you remember, we had this feature in our web application, but we never had it in the mobile where you can customize the validity of your of the time you want to share this link. Right now, when you go to the app and you have list of units and you just have a long tab on a certain unit, and the menu will pop up with the share location, and then clicking on it, this menu shows up with options to choose from, as well as custom. So when you click, you will automatically get redirected where you can share, this link via any options you have: WhatsApp, messages, Skype, so on and so forth. So that's for locator. And the next update is for the navigation bar. So right now, it became possible to manage the tab visibility on the navigation tab, on the navigation bar. So if, let's say, if the client has only one unit on the list, the monitoring tab showing the entire working list first here, the monitoring, will be unnecessary. And for him or her, it will be useful to start with the actual map first. That's why we created this ability of changing. So as the result, you can now have your navigation bar more personalized, and now your clients can customize the order of the tabs and their visibility that they need right now. So what is more, the white label partners can also take advantage of the added functionality if they want to change the tabs order and their visibility and have it as the default configuration for all your clients. You should submit a request to our Gurtam mobile team specifying the needed configuration. Let's say you only want to have monitoring, reports, and map, and hide everything. So that will be your default configuration that will be applicable for all your customers that are using your white label application. Also, please note that this configuration can only be changed when requesting an app update. So next set of updates will be related to our Wialon web applications, such as Nimbus, Fleetrun, and logistics. So let's start with Nimbus. And last quarter, our Nimbus team developed the following features. Now you have a developer mode for the Nimbus application. Also, all reports now have a mileage tab. And also, you will have the unit groups warning pops up if you change your unit group in the Wialon hosting. So the first one, the developer mode. In the user settings, we added this opportunity to enable the developer mode in order to see the IDs of the elements in the system. Such IDs might be ID of stops, routes, units, and rounds. So by default, this mode is not active. So this new option will be beneficial for developers who can make improvements using the API. So the next set is, actually you can see it here as well. So I enable the mode and I will shortly show in a real time. And here you can see the IDs of the stops. Next update is related to reports and the mileage. So we added the mileage column to all type of the reports and it displays the length of the unit track from the first to the last visited stop. Let's say if the bus did not visit any stops, the value will be 0. Also for US customers, please keep in mind that right now it's only in metric system, but Nimbus team will deliver in the US measurement system shortly. And the last update for last quarter is the warning about the change of unit groups. So after logging into the application, a check for the unit groups modification will be carried out. So the unit groups will be compared with the ones in Wialon hosting that you have. And in case you modified it, the user will see a dialog box with the following information: the number of new units added in a group and the number of routes with the modified units. So the user can either confirm or cancel the binding of new units by clicking on the corresponding buttons on the dialog box. Also, please note that if the user cancels the binding, the unit groups will be compared again next time the user logs into the application. And the dialog box requesting the confirmation or cancellation of the new units binding will appear again. So let me show you how it works. Coming back to our application. Coming to Nimbus. See, right now you have this warning because in Wialon hosting, we added one unit group and it affected one route. We cancel, so next time we see it again until we confirm. And also going to the user settings, here you will see the developer mode. Again, by default, it's disabled. And when you click save. So when you go to any element of the system, say stops, these IDs that are related on the backend will be displayed. Let us come back and disable it again. You come back, nothing. So for the reports, we have a mileage. Let's execute some report from here to here. And now we have the mileage tab on our report. So that's it for Nimbus. And let's move on to to the Fleetrun. So I feel like Fleetrun has the most updates the last quarter. We also now have service updates where we have service date prediction by mileage, engine hour, and time. We also have a service filtration by mileage, engine hours, and time. We have the new service objects and mileage from the start of operation. We defined the total mileage versus the actual mileage. Also in the service objects on units, drivers, you can indicate the cost per mile or kilometer or engine hour for a specific period of time. Also in reports, now you have an option to calculate the cost per 1 mile or kilometer by fleet and the unit. Also, you can see the total mileage by unit for due services. In the reports, now numbers are without letters, so you won't see this USD letters right next to your dollar amount. Also, we added custom fields to the service list. From administration standpoint and notification, we increased the text limit in notification from 500 to 1,000 symbols. And on the dashboard, we have hovering numbers displayed. So let's get started. For service filtration by mileage, engine hours, and time. Now you can filter service by the following criteria. And this way you can see upcoming services by the selected time and not all together as it was before. So this functionality will help to see service urgency by a particular time, if it's by mileage or any other criteria. And you can compare the urgency within a particular parameter. Also, the new tab in here is estimated service date, where the system, the Fleetrun system, can predict service date on the basis of the mileage, engine hour, and time as well. So these data are gathered for some days, analyzed, and consequently assisted in prediction of the interval date. This functionality makes possible to sort services by urgency, again, and plan your fleet capacity more thoroughly. So let's see how it works in real life. Let's go to Fleetrun. We go to services. And now we see all our services, but here we have this filter. Before it was due overdue, but now we also added term of completion by mileage, time. So when you click, all the services that are related by time or by mileage, so they will automatically filtrate it. Also, if you can indicate all of them, not necessarily. Also, the estimated service date is here, and you can also play around to see what is the further day of the service. So this service will perform, or supposed to be performed, yesterday, but the next, based on oil change, will be on 2021. I guess it didn't click here. And so that's it for services and filters. Next update is related to the mileage from the start of operation and also differentiation between total mileage and the actual mileage. So from now on, you will be able to enter a mileage from the moment you started to operate the vehicle and continue calculating your cost per mile in a proper manner. Because let's agree, it's rarely that you buy a brand new vehicle with a 0 in your odometer, and there are some miles or kilometers were driven before, so you want to take it into account. So for the total mileage and actual mileage, total mileage counted from the moment the vehicle is bought. It's basically the odometer reading. And as a reminder, before and previously, we called it current mileage, and the calculation cost per mile and cost per engine hours were not that accurate. Now the actual mileage, it's counted from the moment you started to operate the vehicle. So that's why you see this discrepancy. And here also, when you go to the service object and you go for a unit, you see this difference. Total mileage is 61,000, but the actual mileage that you used or operated this vehicle is 24. Also, the pop-up window will show up as the hint for you. Also, related to the total mileage and the cost, now we have cost per mile or kilometer for a separate or selected period of time. You can check this either on the dashboard or in a unit info page, and it will help you to compare expenses month by month, quarter by quarter, or any period you want. Also, cost per kilometer or mile is here, and it also can show the cost per engine hour as well. So let me show you how it looks like. So we go to service objects, and again, unit profile. So that's where we operate and indicate mileage from the start of the operation. 5,000. I bought this vehicle and started using it and utilizing Fleetrun 5,000 miles. When we go to unit info, that's precisely what you see. The odometer reading, when you go inside the car, you would see 38,000 miles, but the actual mileage for me, so I can calculate my costs per mile or engine hour, will be taken into consideration as 33,000 miles. Also, I can play around with a time frame. Let's see, I want to see February, what happened, what's going on right now. So that's this option, as well as the first cost per engine hour. So moving on, our next update is related to reports and displaying the average cost of several units in the report. When you go to report, you will see the option to cost by fleet per 1 mile and by unit for 1 mile or kilometer. And when you go and execute the report, you will see which vehicles, which vehicle require more expenses in comparison to other ones. And you will also see the time frame, units you want to choose. And you can also indicate the highest, the lowest. And here you will see the total amount based on the labor and part costs. Also, in the reports, we have a total mileage. And now you can execute report for a unit, for due services, and see a new column. Total mileage. So it's the value from the time when the vehicle was manufactured to the time of report execution. Just keep in mind, if the value is unknown, a dash will be displayed. And also coming to the report, report numbers without letters. When you execute the report, those of you who remember, let's say it was 35 USD, so it was letters. When you actually export it to Excel, those letters were in the Excel tab. It wasn't really useful and convenient to work with those. So now all unit of measurements move to a column header, and numbers are left as it is. So let me show you. Go into reports. So this is our report, and again, report type, as the reminder, that's what we added by fleet cost for mile and unit. So you can select any elements you want, a couple of those, say October, and you click execute. And here you see, and you can also play around the lowest to highest, the highest to lowest, and you see the total of everything, of total units, total cost, and a breakdown cost of labor cost and the parts. Also, here, let me scroll more, you can see the total mileage. So this is the odometer reading that you have on your unit. So let me check. Delivery scooter, it's supposed to be 600,000. Let's find the delivery scooter in service objects. So that's the odometer reading. And also coming back to reports, let's execute the report. Remember here, cost in dollars, all numbers are clean without USD. And when we have it in Excel, all numbers as it is, so you can operate in Excel without any issues. So next update will be related to custom fields. Again, from the previous webinar that was delivered by Andrew Nelson, we have custom fields added to Fleetrun in the administration panel. There is separate tab custom fields that you can indicate, either create the text field if you want to store free text value, or you can create a list with up to 20 values in advance. So right now, you will be able to see those custom fields in the table of services tab. Moreover, you will also be able to sort the services by custom fields. And this functionality allows to see values of custom fields for some services at once. Also, you will be able to export those services with custom fields to a CSV file if you need them, if you need to analyze them. You can also import some services with already filled custom fields. So this functionality helps to reduce some time on some service creation, so there's no need to fill in custom fields separately one by one. So let me show you. Oops. That was my Wialon, Fleetrun. Custom, again, as the reminder, in the administration panel, we have our custom fields. For now, we have two, text and list. So when you go to services and you want to see, let's say, in progress. So these two already, the custom fields from our administration panel got populated, invoice and mechanic. And if you have a lot of those, you can also put it by numbers or any filter down by mechanic, so on and so forth. So that's it for the custom fields for now. Next update is related to the notification. As I mentioned before, the text limit for notifications were extended from 500 symbols to 1,000. And also nice update about the hovering numbers in your dashboard or in unit properties. When you see a chart and when you hover over, you will see the exact number that is related to this one. So let me come back. As notification, just a reminder where notification is. We already have our notification, and in the text you can put up to 1,000 symbols. And for hovering numbers, again, here you can indicate the time interval, and you will see a lot of bars without any indication. But when you hover over, you will see that that's the cost, that's the mileage, or engine hour, so on and so forth. And the service object, when you click, you can also see this. So that's it for Fleetrun, and the next updates will be related to our delivery application logistics. So for logistics, we now have the addresses as coordinates. You can put addresses as coordinates. Also in reports, we added new tab, confirmation and rejection time. Also in reports, the previous name, actual arrival time, was changed to actual fulfillment time. For warehouses now we have a separate tab. Before it was part of the general settings. And also we have some updates about custom fields. So for coordinates, now when creating an order, you can enter the coordinates in the address field as it is. So this functionality will be useful, let's say, if delivery is carried out at the gas stations or at places where there is no address, like, I don't know, roadside, bus stop. Also, when importing orders, coordinates can be entered in the address. So this functionality will be useful if the address space consists in your Excel file. It consists of a mix of coordinates and addresses. And accordingly, it's also possible to import orders with both the address and coordinates. So I just wanted to copy paste my set of coordinates that I wanted to show you. And come back to logistics now. So now we are planning a new order. And instead of address, I want to put coordinates. And it will indicate that it's coordinates indeed, and you click, and that's our Gurtam office. So that's, you click save. And as you see in the planning stage, you see this test. And I didn't save it, sorry. Save. Probably we don't have, yeah, no. Yeah, we don't have address, that's why. So now we have coordinates and also the real address. So next on our updates is the confirmation and rejection time on the report. So now when you go to the report, you will see the new column, confirmation and rejection, as well as when you execute the report, you will see this tab with the appropriate information. Also in the report tab, we changed the name of actual arrival time. It used to be actual arrival time, and now it's the actual fulfillment time. Again, as the reminder, if you don't see it in the report, just go to report properties and allow it and move the proper tab so it can be seen. Let me show you. So we go to reports. So now we have arrival, estimated arrival time, actual fulfillment time, and confirmation. Let me just drag it so you see the confirmation rejection time. So when you execute the report, so you will see the confirmation and rejection time here. Also, small update about the warehouse. So now you remember when you go to settings, you had the warehouse option somewhere here. Right now, it's a separate tab where you can perform all operations related to warehouses here, indicate, set it up. So now you don't need to go to general settings. And the next set of updates will be, related, sorry, I just have I have some technical issues, as you see. So we have warehouse here. So the last set of updates will be related to custom fields. Again, we have a separate tab in general settings, and when you click, you will see the autocomplete button that automatically will add all custom fields created earlier in the resource. And as well, you can also create the new one on the go. That will also, so remember we have favorite color, type of cargo, we put it in settings. So when you create the new order, the custom fields that are that were created before will be populated here, and you will have an option to create a new one. And don't forget to add plus, so it will be applied to the order. You can also add, delete, and edit custom fields values and the planning stage, inactive, and planned rules. So this is by default, and this you can add new one. So also added custom fields can be displayed in the table of orders at the planning stage. To do this, you need to activate custom fields in the table visibility settings. So they will pop up, and you can drag it up and down as you want as well. Also, for custom fields, we added the report. You can now execute the report, and you will see all your custom fields here. Again, as the reminder, if you don't see your custom fields in the report, please make sure you indicate them in settings. When you indicate them in settings, it will be shown as custom fields. Right somewhere here. That's how we'll show you in real demo. And then, oh, it's right here. So when you enable them, it will happen, they will pop up like this, but when you actually execute the report, those custom fields will convert to real ones that you already have. For me, I have invoice and recipient, so on and so forth. So let me show you how it works in real life. So again, as a reminder, custom fields are here. We already a couple of populated here. And when you go to planning stage and new order, here you see all those custom fields that were already, they already exist in the system. And here you can also add yours, click plus, and they will appear in the order. So when you go to orders and you click here, let's say, and you will see, okay, we have a type of cargo, but we don't have a type of packaging and invoice. So we click and we can also drag it up, up. And when you just let's enable couple, okay, volume, and phone. So you will see those are here. And if you want to execute the report for the certain period of time, before the report is being executed, we just see custom fields, nothing. But when you actually do this, the custom fields are being moved into the actual parameters like favorite color, invoice, and when we click, we have the invoice number, we have recipient, so on and so forth, and clearly you can export to Excel. So I guess that's it. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.